Negotiating well takes a lot of skill. We're going to show you an 8-step process to help you get your mind around where you are, where you want to get to, and the steps in between. Will your negotiations really follow this? Probably not exactly, but understanding this flow can help you be more confident and more able to adapt. Before we get started, we need to define a couple of terms. Anchoring is a tactic where you emphatically repeat your position. For example, if your proposed price is €5 per kilogram, then you are going to say it, refer to it, and reinforce it over and over again so that psychologically the other party feels that number cannot be moved much, even if that's not entirely true. Multiple Equivalent Offers, or MEOs for short, are 2 or 3 viable versions of your proposal that allow the buyer to make choices between good, better, and best. For example, you might have one producing the highest value and available at the higher price, and then other offers resulting in less value at lower prices. MEOs are a powerful way to force the other party into acknowledging value instead of just focusing on your price. CNA is an abbreviation for the consequences of no agreement. These are carefully prepared statements and questions that highlight the risks, cons, and other bad things that might occur if you can't reach an agreement. BATNA is an acronym for Best Alternative to a Negotiated Agreement. Simply put, it's your walkaway, or what you are going to do if you can't agree. Both parties always have a BATNA. For example, the buyer may go with another supplier, accepting all of the pros and cons of that decision. And you, as the seller, may choose to direct your attention to other projects. Quid pro quo is Latin meaning this for that. It involves using the phrase, if you, then I. For example, if you will agree to 15-day terms, then I will offer a 2% discount. We will begin with the assumption that you have made a proposal, probably in writing, and the buyer has expressed the desire to negotiate, probably saying your price is too high. With this as the scenario, let's walk through our process step by step. Step 1 is to either anchor your original proposal or to bring out your MEOs and push the conversation away from price and toward value. We do not expect that they will just give up and agree at this point. They are more likely going to anchor themselves, and that leads us to step 2. Ask why. Why do you say that? Why do you feel that way? Why do you need a discount? The language will vary to your situation, but essentially you want to ask why, and then stop talking and wait. This step is designed to get them talking and allow you to assess how flexible they might be. The more talking they do, the better. At this point, it's time for you to bring up your CNAs. Once again, it's not likely that the other party is going to fold and give up, but laying out your carefully worded CNAs reinforces your credibility and power while bringing the risks of no agreement to the front of their minds. 4. Probe by asking questions like, can you help me understand what's driving this from your side? Or what gaps do we need to close here? Or can you share with me your priorities on this? The more they talk, the more energy they expend, and the more information they give up. 5. Once you've fully questioned them, it's time to summarize and fix them in place to make sure that everything is on the table. It might sound like this. I'm sensing that price and timing are the only things we need to work out in order to agree. Does that sound right? Or, is the product price the only thing standing in the way of us agreeing today? This discourages them from bringing up new issues later. Their reaction to step 5 will lead you one of 2 places. If they are not positive that everything is on the table, then you go back to step 2 and ask them why or what's missing. If they do react positively, agreeing that everything is indeed on the table, you proceed to step 6. Step 6 is a test for their readiness to trade. It might sound like this. The only way I can move on these issues is if you can do something for me first. Then stop talking and wait for the reaction. If you read that they are not ready to trade, you might go back to step 1. If they react very negatively, you might go straight to your BATNA by saying something like, "I'm sensing that we might be too far apart on this to proceed." But usually, if you've done a good job in the previous 5 steps, they will ask, "Like what?" or say, "I'm listening." Step 7 takes us into the trading loop, beginning with your first proposal to compromise using the quid pro quo format. After each proposal, you want to stop talking and wait for the reaction. If they are not quite satisfied, they may counter, and you will stay in the trading loop for as long as necessary to reach an agreement. If they are very negative and it seems that you are just too far apart to proceed, you go to your BATNA. And when your counter proposals are close enough, it's time to move to the final step. Step 8 is to simply summarize what you think has been agreed to. If you don't have it right, then you may have to go back into the trading loop. But if you do have it right, you can close with something like, "You are one tough negotiator, but I will honor this. Shall I send you the agreement tomorrow for signature?" So there you have it. 8 steps to negotiation success. Not to follow robotically, but as a guide. Remember, the seller's goal is not to get just any agreement. You want one that leaves the buyer feeling satisfied. To achieve that, you must show how prepared you are and that any concessions made seemed painful for you.